Welcome back to the Comic Book Savant YouTube channel. I'm your host, James Harris. We have another episode of recommended reads here for you. This episode is going to be focused on Shazam. We have the movie now out in theaters, and I wanted to have a reference point for you guys that if you saw the movie, you really enjoyed it, and you wanted to find some of the source material to learn more about the character, that is what the recommended reads episodes are for. So with that being said, we're going to go into some recommendations. The first book that I want to recommend is Shazam, The Monster Society of Evil. This was a book that got a lot of acclaims quite a few years ago, done by Jeff Smith from Bone. He did a love letter kind of story to the character of Shazam that was received extremely well, won a lot of awards. I've actually done a review on that you should be seeing here or here. I'll have a link to so you can check out the review for this particular trade. Next book I want to recommend is Superman Shazam First Thunder. This was a limited series that came out not too long ago. This was written by Judd Winnick, good writer, with a good crossover with Superman and Shazam. It actually was adapted into a DC animated film as well. That was really good. So you can check this out on multiple places. You can buy this trade paperback, or you can actually watch the film as well. Last time I checked, it was available on DC Universe, so you can watch it for free there. If not, again, I'll have the links below to the actual film if you want to look to pick it up. I'll have links down there as well for that. Good story, though. Next, we have Shazam Volume 1. Now, I do have to make a special note about this particular one. Shazam Volume 1 is a trade paperback collecting some of the stories relating to his recent origin during the New 52 time period in DC Comics. But I found out, and good thing I did research, when I was doing the research for the books I wanted to recommend, I came across this and I dug a little deeper and found this. So I wanted to make you guys aware of it now. So Shazam Volume 1 and Shazam Origins. Shazam Origins was just released for the movie coming out. They put out this new edition with the name Shazam Origins. Shazam Volume 1 and Shazam Origins are the same collection. They just have different trade dresses. So Shazam Volume 1 has Gary Frank is the artist for that. It was written by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. So it has his artwork, of the character. Shazam Origins, I gotta keep looking down at my notes to make sure I get them correct. Shazam Origins actually has the new trade dress with the actor that plays Shazam on the cover of it. But as far as the contents inside, they're exactly the same, but the cover dress is just different for the two books with the same content. So it just depends on your preference on what cover you want, on which edition you would buy. As far as page count, it's like 1 or 2 pages difference in the page count. And I don't know really where that comes into play. So it's nothing else outside of the trade cover that's different. So it's just your preference on if you want the original comic book cover, or you want the photo cover with Zachary Levi as Shazam on the cover. Personal preference. Last but not least, we have Shazam, A Celebration of 75 Years. So this is a collection that goes to more of the classic Shazam stories, covers his origin, and just some more important spots in the character's history through all 75 years that the character has been around. Where more of the other books I recommend on this list are more of the modern takes and more things that the director had hinted that he pulled influence from in the comics with the more recent stuff. But this gives you more deep down the classic classic Shazam and his history throughout his 75 years in comics. So that would be like for the purists that you want to get down to the nitty gritty of the true origins or the roots of the character. This might be a book that you definitely would want to pick up as well. So that's just some brief recommendations that I have for you guys. If you saw Shazam and you want to learn more about the character, this should get you started down the road, and you should really enjoy. Like I said, I did good research to make sure I made some of the best recommendations possible for you to have some fun learning more about the character at the same time, having fun and reading some good stories. So if you haven't already, click the like button and let me know that you enjoyed these recommended reads episodes. I've gotten great feedback on the ones that I've done so far. I've done Aquaman. We did Captain Marvel. We have more coming in the future. So definitely smash that like button and let me know you like this one and you want to see more, because we got more planned. Also, don't be afraid to leave a comment down below. If you have some great recommendations that you saw that I left off that you think might be good, if your version of the character, please leave them down below. So when people come here, we can point them, give them even a more extensive reading list to go off of. Don't forget to like. If you have friends that you think this video might be helpful to, share with them. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's all I have for you guys for this episode. If you do like the content, I also do an audio podcast. I post the most recent episodes here on the YouTube channel, but I've been podcasting for about 13 and a half years, and I have about over 400 episodes there. So if you want to hear more from me because you like what you see here, go over to iTunes, do a search for Comic Book Savant, and you can subscribe to the podcast feed there to hear more. That's all I have for you guys for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. I'm your host, James Harris. This is the Comic Book Savant YouTube channel. I will see you guys next time for another episode. And until then, you guys have a good week. Take care.